Anyway, so Jeremy and I went to Dice Tower Con 2016 in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, 5 days of awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about... Sorry, Matt. We're going to talk about just some things that, I mean, we won't spend like crazy amounts of time on here. Otherwise, Matt would just kind of sit here and be bored. But I'm going to start off with a story. The story involves two people on a plane watching Deadpool.
That was a little awkward.
And like the whole nudity scene came on and there's a girl next to us.
Is this you two, I guess? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I pause it on my tablet. I look over at Jeremy and I just tilted it like 45 degrees.
I'm pretty sure for about 5 minutes, I was just looking out the window.
Was that the first time you'd seen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had heard there was like some topless stuff going on. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, that whole scene where they're going through the holidays and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, she couldn't really hear what they were saying. So
right.
That was a good thing. And then she didn't say a single word about it. So we probably should have paused it or maybe fast forward through that part. But I'm a completionist. So it's kind of like reading a book and skipping 10 pages and going back and reading it.
Right.
I don't know if I want to do that.
My face was red for like 10 minutes.
Well, fair enough, though. We sat there first. And it's southeast, you sit, or southwest, you sit where you want.
Right.
It was a full plane, but I don't care.
It's general admission.
Yeah. Anyway, so
He cares. He turned in the tablet.
I did turn the tablet.
You did your part.
I tried to make it as, she didn't have to stare at it or anything. It's not like I was pushing their face.
He wanted to embarrass me more, so he turned it closer to me.
He really wants to see this. I mean, I don't. But fair enough. The first story she said was, well, I didn't know you had to go through so much to bring a gun on the plane. And I'm like, this is the first thing you choose to tell me. Are you armed right now?
Right.
No, she's the person at the track at the Olympics and things like that shoots the gun.
Oh, gotcha.
They're flying her down to Florida from like Michigan just to shoot the gun.
Probably multiple times, but I mean, I feel like you can get anybody to shoot a gun these days.
It probably takes a certain skill.
It's got blanks.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we were talking about this, and I guess it's maybe one of those things where it's some kind of like she's an official. Maybe she does other things or whatever, or maybe it's like some kind of tradition thing. Who knows?
She could be head of the officials, and so she's there specifically for that event. Right.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, that's pretty cool, though. I thought it was cool.
Right.
It's just funny that she didn't really say that until like 4 hours into, like that. We did not know any of that until like the end, like when we were descending. And so the whole time I'm like, she's talking about guns and stuff. At least she didn't say it that loud because that could have got bad. Mm-hmm. It's like yelling bomb in a airport.
Plane.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
that was the start.
Yeah. I just thought that was a funny story. Maybe we'll talk about Deadpool. We'll do a review on it later or something. But it was very interesting to go through.
Yep.
So, Jeremy, Dice Tower Con 2016.
It was fantastic. Actually, now that we've gone twice, I've loved this so much more. Because the first time you go, it's like, oh, hey, I'm Jeremy. Oh, hey, I'm Jeremy. Oh, hey, I'm Jeremy. Yeah, I know Tim. Yeah, he's a middle meeple. Like, okay, hey, I'm Jeremy. So I'm introducing myself to people constantly. And then when we go this year, you just see people and you know each other. And it's like seeing old friends again you haven't seen in a year. And it's so much more enjoyable. You find groups to hang out with instead of introducing yourself to new groups every time you sit down. You look over and you're like, oh, hey, there's Reuven. I'm going to sit down and play a game with him. I know that guy. So that made it so much more enjoyable. I didn't feel so much socially drained. Being introverted as I am, I feel really socially drained when I'm having to meet new people all the time. So being able to hang out with people that I knew already helped a lot. Yeah, it was really cool. And props out to Steve Avery. High five.
High five, Jeremy. He, I think, did I tell you this already, Matt?
No.
He posted a Facebook post with Jeremy's picture, and it says, if you see this guy, high five him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like, he knows everybody. So, like, literally, Jeremy was getting high fives from random people.
Yeah, after about the 12th one, I kind of wondered what was going on. And then he came over laughing and high-fived me like 8 times.
He wasn't just laughing. I mean, he had like the giddiest grin
Oh,
on.
yeah. He was like a little girl that just got a pony. Like, he was so
like,
happy
hey,
about
Jeremy.
this. High five. Like, mouth is wide open as he can make it with this big smile.
Yeah, it was really funny. But I mean, that's kind of cool too, because you got to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people, talk to us that we hadn't talked to.
Oh yeah, I met so many people that I would have never met before.
Yeah.
Because they saw my face.
Yeah, exactly.
On Facebook.
Are you looking up the post?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyway, so there was a couple of events we went to. We went to the. Did you go to both the game shows?
Just the first one.
Just the first
terrible
one.
game show.
The what?
Terrible game show.
You didn't like it?
No, that's what it's called.
Was there?
What was it called? The Terrible Game Show?
Yeah.
The terrible game show.
I watched the.
How
I watched
do I
some
know
of the,
this?
I started to watch the stream, but I want to play along with it. But then I saw like the questions seemed a little ridiculous,
They're
so
very
I don't.
ridiculous. That's why it's called the terrible game show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it had to be like that for on purpose, right? So you didn't know the actual answers and stuff.
Maybe. I don't know.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the
Yeah.
Dice Tower
The teams
channel.
looked huge, though. Did they have to have that big of teams? Could they
Right.
not split it? I get maybe
There's
because
so many people.
I mean I guess with scorekeeping.
Yeah.
If you didn't split it up, each table would have double that.
Right. That's what
So-
I'm saying.
And there was 14 tables.
Right. So
A lot of people.
Yeah.
I get that. You're going. The scorekeeper's got 14 now, 28 teams.
Yeah.
I can see that being an
Can't
issue.
keep up with.
It was really fun. The Wits and Wagers one that you didn't go to is always a really good show. It's really fun. It's basically playing Wits and Wagers, but they make up all the answers. They gather all the info, and so some of them's funny, some of them's really just
Yeah.
outlandish and stuff.
I went back to the gaming hall during that time because I wanted to just check out what else was in there. But if anybody hasn't been to either BGG Con or Dice Tower Con, they set up these tables and you put up players wanted signs if you want players. You put up teacher wanted signs if you don't know how to play the game. And for me, I found a lot of enjoyment walking around and I see that teacher wanted sign. I know how to play the game. I'll sit down and show them how to play the game. And that happens constantly. If you need to know how to play a game, you don't have to read through the rule book. Put up that sign, someone will show up and show you how to play.
Yeah, especially if you're playing any of the hot games at the front.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, people are all over that, teaching it and stuff. Now, there was other stuff that was really fun. But let's talk about this. Let's compare the hotel from last year to this year. No comparison.
No. It was a hotel.
Yeah, it was a hotel. But the other thing is, like, I think they try to get everybody to stay. This hotel was in a big, like, the property was almost like a circle. And so you had towers on the west, east, and south. And then you had the main building on the north. Had all the restaurants and stuff. So there was a little bit of walking between buildings, but the convention center was connected directly to Tower 2 by, it was outside, but it had covering. So even if it started raining, you're covered. You can walk from the hotel. You don't even have to worry about sunscreen.
Yeah.
Not that I personally do anyway.
Yeah, really.
But I thought that was really cool. The bedrooms were just upgraded. I mean, we had the refrigerator, which was way better than the last year.
Oh yeah, much better. If you go to Dice Tower Con next year, make sure you go to the CVS across the street. Buy you like 8 boxes of cereal, so you're not paying $15 for a $3 burger.
Oh man, the food. All right, the food was okay.
Yeah,
The food in the restaurants of the hotel is just okay. Some of it, you can get some good stuff, but you're paying $28.
Whoa.
I mean, it's expensive. Now, the gold nugget of the food convention was the pizza. They had this like little deli area, and it had a pizza making place. They also did other hot stuff. But that pizza, I literally think, we got ham and pineapple, which is my favorite.
Right.
I think, other than Papa John's, that is my favorite ham and pineapple I've ever tasted.
What style pizza was it? I mean, was it like a big, huge New York, or
It was a
just
12-inch, but
typical hand toss?
hand
or,
tossed.
Okay.
A little more fluffy.
Yeah, it was a fluffier
than
bread,
hand tossed.
zero grease.
Yeah.
I mean, when we finished, the box, with a typical pizza box, literally had just like a couple of lines.
Yeah.
Did they oven cook it? I guess, or
Yeah, well, it was like a rolling thing, and then it's
Roller
an oven that
cooker.
just goes through. It takes 10 minutes to go through.
okay, right.
The style might also be more closely related to like artisan pizza.
Okay.
Because they had prosciutto, I think, that you can get on there also.
I don't know
Which is
what they
more
had. They
fancy.
had magic is
Yeah.
what they had.
Dead magic.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
So remember all that also when you go to, I almost said Gen Con, Dice Tower Con, bring an extra bag because there's so many deals on games. You'll need more space.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. We'll get into the games we bought here in a minute, but let's talk about, I'm going to go over the list of games that we played, and Jeremy, you add any if I miss any.
Okay,
Because
let me bring up my list. There's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think you pretty much played everything but that one game. Oh, you played other ones. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, we played Seven Wonders Duel, Quadropolis, Stack Attack, which we'll come back to that.
Yes.
Dead Last, Imhotep, Pitch Car, Small World, the Designer's Edition, which we talked about earlier. Vikings on Board, however, I put parentheses no at the beginning of that.
No Val.
we were playing Vikings on board, and like you're basically trying to move these Vikings around in these different worker placement actions.
Right.
And then there's all these ships that you're trying to build and then set sail with stuff.
Right.
But somebody on the box put a post-it note right no next to Vikings and put it on the box. So it was like no Vikings on board because the Vikings never get on the ships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was just funny.
I was like, someone didn't really like this game.
Yeah, we thought that, and then when we started playing it, I was halfway through. I was like, I get it now. It was really funny.
Yep.
I played Dungeon Fighter. Separately, we played Celestia, Tyrants of the Underdark, Treasure Hunter, which you played, Matt. Mord Amorosa. However you say
Mimosa?
that. Mimosa?
I think it's more Mimosa.
Well, whatever. Hanabi Deluxe and Scythe.
Yep. The only game that I played that you didn't play, I played around the Catching Guns with the people I taught, and then The Witching Hour, which is Ken Shannon's new game.
Cool.
Hanabi Deluxe.
It's they use Hive, how the pieces are like that material. They're real thick and they're almost like dice.
Right.
Pretty much like dominoes.
Yeah, you're playing Hanabi with dominoes. That's a better way to explain it.
Okay.
Which I actually found to be better.
Really? That's what I was just
Really?
like, I
didn't
wouldn't
like
think
it
it
as
would
much.
be. But
I liked it because like you could clearly mark the cards,
Yeah.
dominoes. If they're standing upright, you know what I know.
Yeah.
That's cool, but I guess you could do more with cards because you can stuff them on the side. You can put two of them really close together or whatever.
right.
I just found the dominoes too cumbersome.
Yeah. I mean, I guess some of the draw with Hanabi is the fact that you can pretty much play it anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas this,
Tiny game.
it's not happening.
Right.
So,
All right, favorite game you played there? That
favorite
list.
game. You tell me your favorite game first so I can think about that question.
It's a toss-up for me.
Yeah.
I love finding games because there's so many games out there that are very, very samey. I love finding really unique games, and Mord Mimosa was that unique game for me. I mean, you basically got this tower, you're dropping cubes in it, and you have to listen to which floor the cubes land on.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I saw you all playing that then.
And so you're trying to guess where people are on the floors.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's a game I would purchase, but I had a lot of fun with it. One game I did not say that we played was Karuba, which I thought was really good.
You like that one?
But the caveat is this. I think I beat it. I did
Well,
like
you did play like almost the perfect game.
I like literally.
Like one tile away from the perfect game.
It was crazy. I was just like, huh, I'll never do this good again.
You always love the games that you do well at.
That's true. But I can say enough that even if I did mediocre, those type of games I just don't like play as much. Like I feel like I play them 2 or 3 times and the excitement just drives down really fast after that. It's a solitaire game where one person is like they shuffle up all the tokens and flip one over and say 17, and then
Right.
everybody grabs the 17, and so you're placing all the same stuff in your like little thing.
It's Carcassonne bingo is kind of how I've heard it described. But
I guess that's a good way to say it in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not placing the tile in the same spot I did, but we're placing the exact same tiles in the same order.
right.
So it was all right. I mean, I don't think it's garbage. I wouldn't be upset if
it's
I
not
owned
a
it.
Bad game.
Yeah,
I just wasn't wowed by it.
fair enough. I think my favorite game would. I mean, I kind of want to give it to Scythe, even though I was talking like people. I just know that the more I play it, I probably end up liking it.
I thought you
way
hated
more.
that game when we finished.
You did?
You went like immediately like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong.
What? Oh, no, I didn't say anything was wrong. I just meant
Or
like
I didn't like this.
yeah. I just felt like I don't know. It was 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah. And I totally got defensive because I liked the game a lot. So I was totally like, well, you didn't think about this, didn't you? Stupid.
Well, no, but you got brought up good points, and you were bringing up a good point earlier with the fact that the downtime is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
I mean, for the game we played, I know some people will make the downtime happen.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I have a couple in mind.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, yeah. But I think my favorite game I'm going to give it to is Tyrants of the Underdark.
Okay, I changed mine. That's number one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you forget about it?
No, I didn't forget about it, but I was tossing it up in the air. Now that you said it, I want to agree with you.
Yeah. That is awesome. Gale Force 9 has not made a bad game. They may have made games you don't like,
Right.
but they haven't made bad games.
Mm-hmm.
Spartacus, yeah, it's full of like take that stuff, which I typically hate completely.
It's still good though.
It is a good game. Firefly, sure, if you don't like the pickup delivery stuff, it is a faithful Firefly game. Everything that happens in that game is like very fanfare.
No, they seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Tyrants of the Underdog basically is a deck building game like Ascension. Same kind of Ascension style boss up, then something else comes in its spot.
Right.
But as you're doing it, all the actions you do, you place these little shield tokens on the board, and it's area control. But it's not the way it works. The area control is just awesome.
Yeah.
It is wow. It's cool.
So all your cards are pretty much based around
2 to 4
controlled
or
area.
players.
Yeah,
or,
2 to
okay.
4. We played 4. It went really well.
Yeah, 4 players works out really well. 3 players would work great. 2 players I think would even work great.
Yeah. So on the board, there's actually sections. So if you have less players, you have a smaller board. So it's not like you can just spread out on a 2-player game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. You're fighting over a smaller area,
Yeah.
but there's less players.
Mm.
Artwork, I've never been a big fan of the new style of Dungeons and Dragons art. And obviously Wizards of the Coast has kind of forced that on them, and they gave them their IP to slap on it. Not that Gale Force 9 has like top-notch artwork in their other games anyway, but yeah, phenomenal game. Crazy price point, understandably.
What was the price point?
$75 or
Really?
something. Yeah, $70 or $75.
Wow.
I don't
All
understand that.
MSRP. So, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about games we bought. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about what Jeremy won in the Jack Vassal
Oh, wow.
Memorial
Yeah.
auction.
So they put up a bid for a bunch of X-Wing. And I was like, okay, I've been wanting to get into this, so I'll bid on it. It was a lot of stuff. And so I start bidding, and it gets up to like 175 or 200 at one point, and like nobody's bidding against me. And I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm going to win this for $175. And then someone starts bidding against me, and I
I
finally...
think they kind of talked it up. They're like, hey,
they did.
people, because it is a
This is
charity auction.
Yeah. So I don't mind paying a little more because it is a charity, but at the same time, I don't mind getting a deal. So we went up to $275, and I was like, okay, I figure I just got like $500 worth of X-Wing stuff for like $275. That's pretty nice. And so then I look it all up afterwards, and not MSRP, but actual cool stuff prices is over $700.
Cool stuff. That's 30% off MSRP usually.
Win.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Good thing Cool Stuff was there shipping people's stuff back to him.
Right, all right, couldn't get it back.
Yeah, so I mean,
So much.
he shipped 2 boxes full of X-Wing and then brought 2 carry-ons full of X-Wing.
Yeah.
It was slightly silly.
Yeah, there's a ton of ships.
Yeah. So games we purchased. You got a list of the stuff you purchased?
I don't remember all of them. I mean, I remember some of the important ones.
Well, I'll tell you everything I bought because that's me.
Okay.
So I purchased Celestia, which is a little cool push your luck game. It's pretty neat. Really cool artwork. I bought Dungeon Fighter plus an expansion, which I normally would not have purchased, but the crazy ding and dent sale that they had was silly.
The ding and dent.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I bought Battle at Campbell's Crusade Battle at Campbell's Crusade Cascade. Whatever. I type it right. It says Cascade. Anyway, I got that at the auction, which we'll go into, or not the auction, but the flea market. I got Heavy Steam, Sushi Go Party, Time's Up. I got 5 data packs and a small box expansion for Netrunner, Hiroshima Hex Babel 13, High Command pack for the War Machine High Command game, and the Iron Kingdoms Monster Nomicon for a crazy low price of $5.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's a $35 book.
Yeah.
So this ding and dent sale, but go ahead. Actually.
Oh, so I think I got most of them. I don't remember all of them. But I, of course, got the X-Wing stuff. I got Netrunner. I mean, we're getting expansion packs for like $3.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. 50% off like their red tag prices at the end. So they already marked it down like 50%. And they're like, 50 more percent. Got Cold Express. Good deal on that. I like the game. Robin Caruso I got for like $28. I don't really like it a lot, but I couldn't really pass up a $28 Robin Caruso because I can trade that for something nice. Got Seven Wonders Duel, Hirelings, The Ascent, a game that I've been looking for my nieces and nephews for a really long time because I think they'll love it. I got it for $2. That was in the flea market, but $2 for that game. It's fantastic. I got Dungeon Fighter because you got Dungeon Fighter. And there's a good deal. That's the only reason.
It was like $7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just wrote down Ascending Empires, but I did not get that game.
Why'd you write it down?
Because I was thinking of Alien Frontiers, and the A's threw me off, I guess. So I got.
But you didn't even get Alien Frontiers.
I did. I got it in the auction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So before the X-wing came out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it with the bundle of games.
Because there's like 4 things left, and I didn't think I was going to bid on the X-wing, so I liked the game, and I was like, okay, I want to give something to the charity auction, so I bid on it, and I got it. Then I was like, I guess I'll bid on the X-wing. Nobody's bidding on it. Like, nobody's raising their hand. And then Tim's over there like, you should bid on that.
I was an instigator of him bidding. No. It was great. I was, stay in. That's a great price. Stay in.
And then...
And a great cause.
Awesome Kingdom. And like 3 others that I don't remember I bought because they're like $4.
We got Voodoo Mania.
Oh, yeah. Voodoo Mania.
We got that for
free box.
Yeah, I didn't put that on here because I didn't purchase it. Probably would not have.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, we haven't played it either. So it's basically a reverse Spot It. To go over 2 things. One, the flea market is really fun. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. They open the doors. All these people flood in. I think it's like $10 to buy a table, and you can put whatever you want on it as a vendor or whatever. You're not really a vendor, but you see what I'm saying. To sell off your stuff. Tom Vassell always has a spectacle of stuff there. I mean, crazy amounts of games. And he just starts going down the aisle. $10 games, $10 games. Are we at the end of the line?
$5 Splendor.
Yeah, well, not Tom Vassell.
Oh, that wasn't Tom, but someone did that.
But yeah, Tom was carrying games down the line because there was a line outside because of the fire marshal code. You can only have so many people in there.
Right.
He was walking down the line. He's like, $10 games, $10 games. And we got near us and we were at the back. He looks over at Jason and was like, we at the back of the line? All right, $5 games, $5 games. At one point, I was standing in the line inside the flea market because once you get in there, there's another line just to get to Tom's table, but everybody else's table might have 3 or 4 people at it. There's a lot of people, but they're all clustered on one side at Tom's table. And I was standing in line. I was going to go through it, and Tom walks by. He's like, $5. You know what? Here, do you want this? He just hands it to somebody. I thought it was really funny. He's like, it's a terrible game, but you might like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I didn't really go to Tom's table because it was taking a long time. People kind of don't move. They get up to the front and they just wait for Tom to throw stuff at them or whatever.
Right.
Or say like, $5 games, here, bundle 3 for $5, whatever. So I was walking around. We made some good deals. There was that guy. He had a booth and he was literally like $5 Splendors and handing out Splendors for $5.
Yeah.
He even did Quadropolis for 10.
Yeah.
He only did 3 of those, and me and Mitchell were sitting over there talking, and we looked over. We just stopped talking when he said it and ran over there. We're like, "Why were we talking?" He's like, "I don't know." So it was a pretty fun thing. I mean, I got Battle at Kimball's Cascade. If I could ever say that name right, I said it like perfectly before the podcast like 10 times. I got it for $10. That's crazy low. It was the end of it. They were packing up. I was like, "Look, I got a 10." He's like, "That's cool." He handed it to me. So you can find some amazingly good deals. You can also sell a lot of good games for good money. I mean, if you bring quality stuff, it doesn't go really cheap. It's not like you have to accept people's offers.
Yeah. Right.
So it's totally worth doing if you want to get rid of games. Now, obviously, if you fly there, it might be a little bit more difficult, but you can bring a suitcase full of games, sell them all, bring stuff back in the suitcase.
Yep. Right.
So,
and I'm pretty sure for Tom's table, that all goes to the Jack Vassell Foundation too, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or it's either that or maybe, does any of it go to his, to fund the Dice Tower too?
It may. I think I remember last year them saying it's Jack Vassell, but it might go towards Dice Tower also. Yeah.
Either way, it's going to the Dice Tower in some manner, I guess. But the other thing was the cool stuff. So the cool stuff, that Ding and Dent sale.
Yeah.
Man. And when I say ding and dent, it's like ding and perfect.
Yes. Well, except that one game that looked like someone drove a forklift through it and they won $15.
Yeah. Okay. That's a negotiable one. It was crazy. Man, this was so good. I don't think they did it last year. Do you remember this? I mean,
I don't remember this last year. No.
I think they had a ding and dent section, but they still had all their other stuff. 90% of their space was ding and dent.
Yeah. It was a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It was really cool. And if the cellophane's ripped a little bit, they say customers will return it. Right. So that's considered ding and dent.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for this.
Thank you, people listening. Keep sending those back.
Yeah.
And then, at the last day, they did the 50% off sale right before we were leaving. Perfect timing. We walked up into the line. We're like, let's just check out this line one more time. We're 10 people in line. They cut off the line. And they're like, at 12, which is like 30 minutes away, they announced over the speakers that they're going to cut everything in 50%. That was crazy.
Yeah.
There was like 50 people lined up at that point.
Because at that point, a lot of the games are already 50%. So 25% at that point.
Yeah. Man, you really need to go next year, man.
Now you got me wanting to.
I feel, if I had to drop all the conventions and only go to Gen Con, I feel like at this point, Gen Con is just a given for me because I've been so many times and I still enjoy it. It just gets better and better for me every year. But I would say Dice Tower Con is by far right below it.
Really?
For me. Yeah, it destroys all the other conventions I've been to. Just the sheer amount of fun. And it might have a little bit to do with the Dice Tower and stuff. Because I get to meet them all and hang out with them and stuff.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the people. Because I feel you can get this kind of same experience at BGG Con. But if you don't know the people there at BGG Con, since you're associated with the Dice Tower, it helps a lot because you know a lot of people there. So I feel if we went to BGG Con every year and we started seeing the same guys over and over again because it's a small convention, we'd probably get the same kind of feeling out of it. So it's the smallness of it. I think that makes it really, really nice.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to touch on before we move on?
Can I tell Matt 7 more times how much stuff we bought and for how cheap?
It was ridiculous, Matt.